Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you guys had a great weekend. We are live. And what you're going to hear today is some pretty shocking information. And I just want to give a little bit of a prerequisite to today's show and let you know that the things that you're going to hear might upset you. But understand that as morally conservative people on this channel, as most of the people that come to this channel lean to the right, post indictment poll, Smurf surges, largest ever lead over DeSantis. Now, we knew this was coming. I told you guys this was going to happen, that this would even embolden much more popular as people give in to their right-left paradigm fears, thinking that if we don't stop these people, the left do it to him, they'll do it to us, and so on and so on. This is the programming that they want you to fall into. Don't believe the hype. And I'm going to tell you how important this is, because Shroom still has work to do, doesn't he? Yes, he does, and I'm going to demonstrate that to you today. Now, let's get back in here. How is everything going over here? Are you guys okay? Are you guys, you guys are getting some buffering. Not good. I wonder what's going on with the internet today. What's going on is you're going to hear some information today that might upset some people. And the reason why is because many people believe that Shroom, we're calling him now, is the savior, that he's the person that we need to get things done. And this has happened because of the emboldening of the left, which has all been orchestrated. Okay, this is why they've got Biden going after appliances and light bulbs and things like this. We'll talk a little bit about that today at the end of the show. But it's all because of creating the counterbalance, the counterpart, creating enough anger toward the left from the right in order to get Shroom back into office. That is the plan. That is the play. That is the chess match. So we're kind of starting over here because it seems like a lot of you kind of dropped out, had some streaming issues, but I think we fixed it by fixing the settings. Hopefully that will help. Now, let's go back to this. As we said would happen, this was some kind of a trick, some kind of a play, and even beyond your wildest dreams, you couldn't imagine that a person about to be arrested could surge in the polls. But apparently he is, or so they want us to believe he is. Okay, and so here it is, post-indictment poll, Shroom surges to largest ever lead over DeSantis. Now, is this real? Probably not, but people will believe this. They'll be like, yes, we need to rally to his aid. Now, this came out on April 1st, April Fool's Day, because they know that all the fools will believe this. And so now we have our front runner. Look at the polls here. This is hilarious. So they're basically saying that Shroom is the slam dunk, and people will believe this. They'll get behind him. He'll beat the charges and become the next president. Now, what I want to show you next is pretty shocking. Over the weekend on April 1st, and I probably should have waited to send out this community post, there was some information that emerged. Stormy Smurfette. And a simple search that I did, which was pretty crazy, because what are the odds of this? Stormy Daniels and now Stormy Smurfette. Now, this is some kind of fictitious hero story series. This isn't real as far as I could find, but somebody posted this. Stormy Smurfette was a character in the 2012 Hero, the Guardian Smurf story series. Again, this is a fictitious, I guess, concept series, I guess they call them. Sometimes you find these Wikipedia pages of fictitious shows and things like that. So this was never made. And you can kind of tell that by reading through some of these episode descriptions. It's almost like a gag series. But the characters were made nonetheless. This was back in 2012. I don't know the time frame that Shroomp was accused of his affair with Stormy Daniels, but this is interesting because it ties Shroomp into the whole Smurf matrix, which we've been decoding over the last couple weeks, right? Now, here's a more recent iteration of Smurf Storm. Remember, Storm is Stormy Daniels, right? And this one's more recent. This came out in 2021. She's got a bow and arrow, and this actually is a real TV series that was made. It was featured in Smurfs The Lost Village 2021. Now, these characters only reinforce the assertion that Gargamel, which we've scrambled to say MAGA-grel, right, represents the Shroomp universe. Now, many of you will remember some of the decodes that we did on the 2011 movie, The Smurfs. And here is Gargamel, and he actually goes to jail, just like Shroomp is about to go to jail, or so they want us to believe. I don't know if he'll ever see a day inside of a jail cell. But what makes this interesting is that as Gargamel is escaping from this jail, he superimposes Shroomp World Tower. This is it right here, right behind him. This is Shroomp World Tower. And how does he do it? He summons a swarm of flies to lift him out over the wall. And so immediately you think of things like, Beelzebub, who summoned flies and bees and things like this. The swarming. So, why did Gargamel go to jail in the movie? Well, for stealing a spiral leaf vacuum. And I'll get into a little bit of the story of that we hadn't covered in the last two decodes that we did on the Smurfs. So we'll get into some of that today. But this is Shroomp World Tower. Right here, as you can see. And we'll decode some of the numbers associated with this tower as well, because there's a lot I missed on this the first go around. But essentially, Gargamel goes to jail for stealing a spiral leaf blower. And here's the blower here. Let's show you the pictures on this. I've got screenshots. Here's the leaf blower and Gargamel on the ground. And essentially, he used this to chase the Smurfs around this toy store in the movie. Now, of course, the leaf blower is a spiral, and that's another, what do you call it? A portal, right? Because we looked at spirals as portals. Now, he uses this thing as a vacuum at first. So he's trying to suck up the Smurfs into this spiral portal. But then, Doogie Howser, who plays the character in the film, ends up switching the flow of the portal so that it blows instead of vacuums. Now, why did he do this? Well, because Azrael, the cat, gets sucked up into the vacuum by accident at the precise moment he goes to grab her with the leaf blower, and instead he sucks up his cat, Azrael, right as she jumps out of the way. You don't see her here, but she's just jumping out of the way. She gets on a skateboard. Now remember, Doogie Howser's birthday is one day after Shroomp's birthday. His birthday is on June 15th, and Shroomp's is on the 14th. So what are we really looking at here? Let me break it down for you. This is predictive programming magic. And Smurfette is really Stormy Daniels. Remember, Stormy Smurfette. And it's at exactly this point in the film that the polarity of the leaf blower turns from a vacuum into a blower. When Doogie Howser says, "Let me help you here," and he switches to blowing instead of vacuuming at exactly this point in the film. So, this is a humiliation ritual. It's the reverse flow of the way things were going for Shroomp, and now they're going to reverse the flow and make it appear as though everything's against him. Now, I don't know what the end game is here, but something is afoot. This scene essentially plays it out, with Stormy Daniels causing the reverse flow, Stormy Smurfette, and the year of the cat, which is what we're in right now. So Azrael has something to do with this, being sucked up into the leaf blower. And this is crazy, you guys. The year of the cat. And so we know this, the timestamp is now because of the year of the cat, which is this year, right? And this is when all this is going down. This is pretty spooky stuff because it's so specific. Now, what happens after this? Well, Gargamel is in jail and he tells a moth to basically, he summons a swarm of eagles. Literally. Or he wants to. So he's talking to this moth while he's in jail. And he says, "Bring back an army of mighty eagles to free him." Is this all starting to sound familiar? Mighty eagles / mighty patriots, free me from jail. And I wonder if that's how all this is going to go down. Now, instead of eagles showing up to Gargamel to save him, of course, what ends up coming is the swarm of flies. Now, all this focus on Shroomp World Tower prompted me to take another look at Shroomp World Tower. Let's take a look. Now, we already know, based on this Wikipedia article, that Bill Gates and a bunch of Russians were tenants in this building before Bill Gates became Shroomp's mortal enemy, or so they want us to believe. He's really not, but that's what they want people to believe. But we really never looked at the numbers behind this tower, so we're going to do that today. The tower is 72 stories tall. Here are the numbers right here. And the length of it is double that at 144 feet. So you have 72 floors and you have 144 feet. Well, 72 and 72 is 144. And the width of the tower is 77 feet. Now, what makes this interesting, everybody knows that the day he was inaugurated, he was 70 years, 7 months, and 7 days old. Now, the construction of this building started in 1999, which of course is 666 upside down. And the movie Before the Devil Knows You're Dead was filmed here. Here's the movie right here. Before the Devil Knows You're Dead. Here's the movie cover poster. Now, I remember watching this movie years ago. This was all the way back in 2007. The film stars Philip Seymour Hoffman, and he plays this accountant in the movie who's basically gets into some financial trouble. He convinces his brother to rob their parents' jewelry store. but his brother accidentally gets his mother killed. And then things descend into chaos from there. Anyway, Shroom World Tower appears in this film. Where does it appear in the film? Well, it's the place where Philip Seymour Hoffman goes to get shot up with the black goo. The hero in. He actually mentions Shroom's name in the film. Hopefully I'll play that for you right now. See if this works.
Now, I know it's not Trump Plaza, and
so there you just heard him say it. And basically the context of this is he's telling his wife that, you know, I've made it to a certain degree in life, and I know it's not Shroom Plaza, but I'm making something happen in this life or whatever. Let's see if we could try to play that back.
suspect was inheriting a mom and pop jewelry store and a...
He said a bad word, so I can't play that part. So, what else happened? Well, here's the interesting thing. When you look at the context of all this, and the fact that Philip Seymour Hoffman goes to Shroom World Tower to get shot up with the black goo, they actually show him getting shot up with a hypodermic needle, and it's some weird thing where there's like a how do I put it, LGBT person. He goes up, and it's like some kind of like high cost, thing that you do. I didn't even know this existed, but rich people like go to an apartment in a high rise in like a controlled environment with the source. They know the source of where the stuff came from and all this, and it's a very controlled way to get high, and it's supposedly safe, and they pay some person to do it for these people. And that was the scene in this movie. It was really weird. It took me a while. I had to sleep on this one because I was like, he's in Shroom World Tower. Like, what does this scene really mean? And then it hit me. The black tar hero in is essentially the black goo being shot up into him. Now, by the end of the movie, Hoffman ends up going and robbing that guy because he knows the guy has money there, because there are many clients that go and see this guy, this LGBT guy, who basically shoots these elite people up. But it's weird because then it hit me. I woke up this morning and the Holy Spirit said, Casey, the fact that the hero in the black tar is in the tower, that was a precursor or a foreshadowing of the things to come. So the black goo is real. And this was in 2007. Now, interestingly, this film released, you ready for this? On Hillary Clinton's birthday. She was exactly 60 years old when this movie came out. And you see this often with Shroom. Him and Hillary have this weird connection. Let's put it that way. Even in one of the town hall meeting in which he mentioned the camels. Remember, he mentioned the microscopic camels. Now, that was from a transcript. There's no video of that because the video did not make it to the editing table. The Daily News was the only one who found the transcript from that town hall meeting and published it. It's the only place you're going to find that anywhere on the internet. Shroom talking about microscopic camels, which we decoded as MERS. Remember? So anyway, that town hall meeting also occurred on Hillary Clinton's birthday, and someone even mentioned it. One of the people asking him questions said, hey, it's Hillary Clinton's birthday. What do you think? Blah, blah, blah. Right? Well, here we have a movie. So I still haven't got to the bottom of why they're connected, other than the dates of these in her birthday have this weird 96-69 connection in the day of the year and the number of days remaining in a year. And you see it here too, 9/6. September 6th was the other. Let's try to reconnect.